Dinosaurs have always had a strong presence in gaming. And you know what else has? Awful piece of garbage games. Of course, it should come as no surprise that there is a great deal of low-effort, broken, horrible dinosaur games just waiting to be played.
Just my luck.
So I've trudged through 5 of the worst dinosaur games on Steam, and now we're going to find out if any of them have anything positive to offer, or if they all just amount to one big pile of shit.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Jurassic Survival's community content consists entirely of screenshots of the game being broken, setting a high bar for what we're about to experience. Jurassic Survival doesn't around with menu screens. You open the game to 3 options: single player, multiplayer, and quit. As enticing as one of these options is, I opted to start the game in single player. Alright, we've got a nice little hut, a bed to set our spawn point, and a chest with a surprisingly promising inventory HUD. I left my humble abode to explore the game's, stunning world, and encountered my first dinosaur. It's safe to say this first interaction with the game's fauna crushed any hope I had that the game might be of any worth.
What was I thinking?
Here's the thing about Jurassic Survival. The dinosaurs are utterly useless. It doesn't matter if it's a little one or a big T-Rex looking thing or a giant herbivore. They've all got the same programming to follow you while seeming to have no understanding of how to traverse land. As a result, the combat plays out like so. It's f***ing tragic. I didn't really progress at all in the game. I just kept dying at the jaws of these fearsome creatures, respawning, having some more epic battles, and repeating the process. At one point, I survived long enough to reach nighttime, which is the same phenomenal gameplay, but now you can't see anything. The world doesn't seem to have any real variation. From what I could tell, there's only a handful of different types of dinosaurs, and there doesn't seem to be any tangible goals in sight. Even if it looked good and the dinosaurs didn't suck, the game would still be missing any point to do anything.
What's the f***ing point?
It got pretty boring within a handful of minutes, so I decided to set my own goal of getting as many of these big guys to follow me at once, which was about as fun as the game ever got, and from the gameplay footage you can probably tell it wasn't particularly fun. Next up, we have Dinosaur Hunt, a game that opens with over 3 minutes straight of staring at a still image while an audiobook-style voiceover introduces the narrative.
Everyone straightened in their chairs. "Sir, yes, sir," the squad shouted in unison. "Very good," said the general.
Seriously?
Yes, it opens with over 3 minutes of this crap.
What the f***?
So it must have a dense thematic story, right? You just walk around with a gun making things explode. That's the whole game. Honestly, I'm shocked the game managed to keep me playing for 20 minutes, but I guess I was held by the variety of weapons to shoot with, and more than anything, the hope that maybe, just maybe, if I kept exploring the map, I would find anything of note. Unfortunately, that was not to be. You walk around shooting at things with no real goal or purpose until you die, and then you just rinse and repeat. Also, the game has over 1,000 achievements, which are constantly buzzing off as you play, despite not doing anything to actually unlock them. I don't know if this is some sort of cheat thing to entice people to play for their Steam profile stats or what. In my 24 minutes of playtime, I managed to unlock 216 achievements. If I had to fish for positives, I'd say the dinosaurs are better than the ones in Jurassic Survival. They're not good, and there aren't that many of them, but they at least managed to exceed the shockingly low bar set by the previous game.
I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
Next up, we have the Architect Project, a game that definitely didn't get its name from trying to sound like the name of the biggest game in the dinosaur genre. The game features a very promising opening menu screen before letting us choose a server to join out of its wide range of flourishing. There's no servers. No one else is playing the game. But that's okay, because I have the option to host my own server. Then we get to choose what dinosaur to play as, and honestly, I'm impressed. There's a lot of options, and I like the game's overall aesthetic design. Yes, it looks low budget, but it does look nice and clean, and they clearly put effort into designing all of these dinos.
Good job.
Once we choose our dinosaur, we get to walk around in an empty world. There's no one else here because, as I previously mentioned, no one is playing the game. And unfortunately, there's no AI dinosaurs. It seems the game banked all of its playability on the game world being filled with real players, so now I'm here just on a dead server with absolutely nothing to do. I'm not sure how they thought this would work. Like, did they really think thousands of people would all magically be online from the beginning and it would be this big, thriving dinosaur world? Well, that doesn't really happen when every person who buys the game boots it up and quits after a minute when they realize it's a graveyard. Maybe someday when I have 1 million subscribers, I'll name a date and time and we'll all get on the game and fill its servers with a prehistoric ecosystem, and then we can find out what the game's actually supposed to be like. But until then, the Architect project will remain a barren wasteland.
A man can dream, though. A man can dream.
Dinos vs. Robots is the epitome of a certain type of game on Steam that I like to call someone just throwing a bunch of assets they found together, calling it a game, and putting it on Steam.
Hooray!
You play as a robot, walking around a dystopian world, fighting dinosaurs and robot dinosaurs. As you can see, the combat, in typical cheap Steam game fashion, is abysmal. I don't really get why you'd fight the dinos on foot, because you can just hop into your hovering Cybertruck and defeat your enemies on impact. And as far as I can tell, when you're in the truck, you can't take damage, and the truck itself is invincible, so the driving mechanics really do seem to defeat the entire point of the game. It looks infinitely more impressive than any of the other games in this tragic collection, but that is also because, like I said, they so clearly found a bunch of models and threw them into a project space, stamped their seal of approval on it, and said, yes, I have made a video game.
My work here is done.
I'm not going to waste your time. Dinosaur Forest is made by the same people as Dinosaur Hunt, and it is the exact same game, but in a different, crappy, boring map. I'd have to say it's the better of the two, because during the obnoxiously long opening monologue, it at least has the words on the screen, so we can read ahead and skip instead of having to wait to hear it be spoken. After all, we wouldn't want to miss a single detail of the plot in a game where all we do is walk around shooting at awfully programmed dinosaurs with no real purpose in sight. Dinosaur Forest also sometimes chooses to activate superpowers like infinite health or super jump. While I won't say these things completely change the landscape of the game, I suppose they at least add a bit of variety and something different to capture your attention for all of 30 seconds. Still, at its core, it's just another dinosaur hunt, meaning it's just another piece of junk. So there's some awful dinosaur games. Not much more to say other than I am not joking. If I ever have a big enough following to make the Architect project a thriving ecosystem, I will make it happen. So please subscribe if only for that, and I'll see you next time.
I'm done. You hear me?